6 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And at the end of this, we always go over a little bit of dance technique, and then we dance because this is a dancing channel. And it's great for your brain, it's great for your body, your mood, everything. So I think everybody should dance. Even if you think you have two left feet, that's what we're here for. We're here to get you moving, and so you too can enjoy music a little more by putting movement into it. All right, we're going to do some little more core today. Clarifies, yes, I'm sorry, it has to be. It's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, so we're going to push that a little, but let's take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Breathe in new air, new possibilities, and get rid of the old stuff. Goodbye, old stuff. And raising your shoulders up and down. We're going to come back to our shoulders. And now we're just going to start with a little warm up. And, oh, I'm getting a frantic signal from Ari. Hang on. Hold that thought clarifies. So, all right, shaking your head no. And then back to the middle, nodding yes. Let's go down to our knees, and we're just going to loosen them a little and straighten back up. This is not a knee bend, remember, this is just getting them moving. This is your initial movement, so they're not in shock when we do actual knee bends. I like to do things slowly, slow warm up. We're going to open and close our fingers, and if you can, your toes too, fanning them out and crawling them back up. Wrists going side to side and flapping them. And a little rolling and a little roll out. And I normally do the fingers separately, but today I just want you to point. And release it. And point and follow it with your head. Point your index finger. Raise it up, follow it with your head. And put your index finger and watch over the tip of your finger and let it go. Other hands, point your finger, and you look over the tip of your finger and release it. And put that index finger, looking over top, down, and once more. Looking over your index finger. And back. So later on, I always like to do things much earlier than we actually need them, but we're going to be giving direction. Now, we won't actually be pointing, but we'll be giving indicators of direction with that finger. So that is why we're practicing that movement. All right, just going up and down. And remember our elbow movements. This is something we've been doing pretty much every time, lifting up our elbows and making the rest of our arms into spaghetti. So you are just lifting your elbows and letting them drop to your elbows, letting them drop, lifting your elbows, letting them drop. Feel some rotation there, but the main thing is to try and feel that your elbow is driving the movement and you're relaxing everything else. It's not that easy to have one part of your body moving and to isolate that movement and have everything else just kind of dangling. But that's what we're trying to achieve here. And that's why we do it often, so that we can build that feeling. in and down. And let's just sweep forward today because we just went to the side, up and down. And we're going to start with some of our core now. So as you sweep upwards, I want you to reach towards the sky as high as you can and feel that your middle is lengthening just like we do when we're doing your standing crunches. And relax. And sweep back up and reach for the sky. And relax, sweeping them up, reaching for the sky. And relaxing. And tilting the shoulders from side to side. This is just the upper body, just the shoulders. We're going to get to the lower parts very soon. And coming back up. And we're going to be doing our shoulders again. So, slumping forward. And rotate your shoulders back, circling them back, and let that pick up your chin. And dropping forward. And I want you to feel like your shoulders are picking up your head and bringing it upwards. One more. Dropping it forward. And rolling it back, and that movement is bringing your head with it. All right, going back to our side movement. Let's start with just bending side to side, just to warm that up. Then I think we're going to hang on to something for the next movement. Eventually, though, I want to do it without hanging on anything. So this is a little bit deeper, trying to keep your hips in place. And grab onto whatever you have nearby that's sturdy, chair, table, counter, wall. Get your chair here. Okay, so we are going to, you can loosen your knees a little bit here too. But what we want is, we're going to lift up our arm and keeping our hips in place, we're going to try and reach over towards a far away something. So you're reaching, reaching, reaching. And as we come up, I want you to feel like somebody has grabbed your hand and is pulling you way up, and I want you to feel that same lengthening that we do in the crunches in your waist to help you come up. And bending over, and we're just stretching, we're reaching for something that's way over there. And an invisible person has grabbed your hand, and you're stretching up, 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 and trying to use that middle part to come up again. And reaching far away, invisible hand grab, and now pulling it in a big, big, big arc as you try and come up over something. And come to the other side. And we're going to do the same thing here. So you're reaching over, this one's a stretch, but you're reaching for something way over there. Visible hand grab, and they're pulling, pulling, pulling at your hand, bringing it way up as you lengthen in the middle. And going back again, and reaching for something way out, and grab, and they're pulling you up, 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 up as you lengthen in the middle. And more, reaching for something far away, and grab, and they're stretching you up, much higher, much taller than you actually are, and lengthening your middle. Up there flies. Start to do it forward, right there. And since we've got our whatever it is ready, now remember, we always talk about weight shift here. We are going to be shifting our square here over onto one leg, stacking it, and that frees up the leg that we're not stacked on. That goes behind us, and we're going to stretch by bending the front leg. You're going to slow it down. mean, this was more northern climates, but I always felt like, somehow it felt like there were a lot of new possibilities. And I liked kind of the smells in the air and leaves changing. And yeah, that was my thing. All right, shifting your weight. Now onto the other leg. Trace up. That leg, that goes behind you. Here's Florida, it's so beautiful all year round. I always lived way up north and northern somewhere, so coming here was a little bit of a shock, but I like it. And coming back, and we're going to switch again, putting one leg in a little bit in front of the other, and bend both knees, and this is to stretch out your calf again, a little bit of a different place, and switching off. Bending both knees. There's something else I want to shake out, but I don't have anything nearby, so I'll have to do it another time. All right. Let's move back to our core. And if you're new here, I want you to start with 2 or 3 in each set and work your way up, because we like to set realistic, sustainable, doable goals here on this channel. But if you've been here a while and you're ready for it, we've been working up to 14 of these. Now what we want to do is feel that we're really anchored. You can loosen your knees if you want. And we're going to bend over our waist like we're getting a big cramp. And as we straighten up, I want to feel that this middle part is lengthening, 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 to bring us up. So it's kind of the same feeling we had going to the side. In fact, if you want to imagine somebody grabbing your hands and pulling you way out to come up, that's going to be helpful. All right, that was 0. We're going to start it. All right. And going over in your middle, and I'm going to pretend so much grabbing my hands and pulling me way up. That helps me get that feeling of stretching in my middle. And 2, grab hands, stretching up. And 3, stretching up. And 4. And 5. You don't have to hold them out there. You can also lay your head. And 6. Or if it helps you, you can keep them here. Make kind of a lengthening. 7. That helps me a lot too. And 8. And 9. And we're going to have 10. And 11. And grab your hands. 12. And 13. And 14%. Done. Yay, and an extra split a day. Alright, leaning back, looking at the sky, and this is to stretch out the muscles that you were just working. Alright, let's do our knee bends. Let's change it up a little bit today. Let's put one foot very slightly in front of the other. So your toes are about the middle of your foot. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be tightening up our legs before they start to bend. And remember that even if your legs are one in front of the other, your knees need to go right over your toes. Because our knees only bend in one direction. No, they should. I mean, I've seen actually people whose knees do very strange things, but most of us, they only bend one direction. And come up. Instead of you rising up, you are pushing the ground away from you. That's going to be our grounding for our dance later on. Alright, so one foot in the other. You can have them at a comfortable distance for you. Maybe under your hips, maybe a little bit wider to feel more sturdy. And tighten up our legs. And going down. over our toes, and push the ground away from you. Tightening up your legs, knees over your toes, and pushing the ground away from you. Legs tightening, knees going over the toes, pushing the ground away from you. Legs tightening, knees going over the toes, pushing the ground away from you. And switching to the other side. Legs tightening, knees going over the toes, and pushing the ground away from you. Legs tightening, knees going over the toes, and pushing the ground away from you. Legs tightening, knees going over the toes, and pushing the ground away from you. Legs tightening, knees going over the toes, and push, 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 step ground away. Good job there, flies. You can shake that out a little bit. And we're going to go back to hanging on to whatever it is. And shifting your weight, so taking that square, moving over onto one foot. And we're going to flat this one up and down. And move it from side to side. And we're going to rest it on the tippy toe. And just give it a swivel. And then shifting our weight onto the other foot. And we're going to flat this one up and down. Moving from side to side. Rest it on the tippy toe. And give it a swivel. Try and rotate up here in your hip joints. And coming back. All right. Second set butterflies. We'll do it a little faster this time now. And remember, as you come up, you get that stretch in your middle. So, and over, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, stretching the middle, and 6, and 7, and long ways, 8, and 9, and 10, and 11, 3 more, and 12, and lengthening 13, and lengthening 14. Good job, butterflies. Look at the sky, stretch out. All right, you remember that, so we're going to come back to our shoulders. So we're going to be lifting them up and dropping them. It doesn't have to be high. It can be just a little bit and let them drop. So lift and drop, lift and drop, lift and drop, lift and drop. And now we're going to do 3 quick ones in a row. Lift, lift, lift. And give yourself a break. And 3 more. Lift, lift, lift. And break, one last set. And lift, lift, and lift. So this is our first foray into what we call isolation. So a lot of times when people are dancing, they do things like this or this, and they're moving one part of their body that seems like a little bit detached from the rest. So even though you're stepping, maybe like this, you can be doing something else with your shoulders. So we're beginning to get that feeling. That's also something that does take time and practice, so we are starting it now. All right, big knee bends. So this, we're just going to leave our legs parallel. Same concept, so tightening up your legs, knees going over your toes, and pressing that ground away from you. Now, legs tightening, knees going over your toes, and push that ground away from you. Legs tightening, knees going over your toes, pushing the ground away. Legs tightening, knees going over your toes, pushing the ground away. And legs tightening, knees going over your toes, and pushing the ground away. And shaking that a little. And before we go to the last set, I want you to kind of really, really, really raised. And I want you to feel like a strong wind is coming in back of you and making you lean forward. So this can also be a very small movement, but I don't want you to bend here. I want you to stay straight and just feel that your weight is shifting towards the balls of your feet, towards the front. And coming back. And the strong wind is coming. Leaning forward. If you want to bounce it like you can. And coming back. And the strong wind is coming, shifting you forward. Weight is over the balls of your feet. And coming back. Out. Get ready for that last set, and then your arm, and I love that. All right, fireflies. Let's do countdown this time. Remembering to lengthen as you come up. And 14. And 13. And 12 lengthening. And 11. And 10. And 9. And 8. And 7 lengthening. And 6. And 5 lengthening. Gonna keep up. 4 lengthening. And 3 lengthening. And 2 lengthening. And last one. Nice and tall, nice and long. Good job, butterflies. Looking at the sky to stretch that out. And let's do a little twist. I'm going to have a pretend wall here because can't really show you from there. So we're going to put both hands on a wall. And we're going to keep our shoulders and our hands facing the wall. And we're going to start to walk our feet out here. Now, I tend to exaggerate everything anyway, but also so you can see it. But you don't have, this does not have to be a big movement. You can do just a little bit, but I want you to feel that your shoulders are staying here and your middle is twisting. And coming back, so it's good for our core. And the other direction. Speed out. And coming back. Once more. Shoulders are facing the wall. And walking the other direction. And coming back. Alright, there flies. So we have been learning Bachata. So we've learned so far the basic step. So step left together, step left, tap right, step right together, right, tap left, left together, left, tap right, right together, right, tap left. So I want to, if you remember from merengue, I want us to do another weight shifting exercise. We've done this before, but it's kind of in a different direction. But I want you to feel like, get your legs pretty close together. And then I want you to feel like you're going to tip over and catch yourself with your foot. So you're going to fall over and catch yourself with your foot. So what you're going to feel is, when you catch yourself, that your weight is going right over the foot you're stepping on. So instead of stepping here and shifting your weight onto it, your weight goes right over it. And then this leg is free, right? Because my weight is over this leg. So I'm going to bring this one in. And I'm going to shift my weight and stack it on this leg. And then I'm going to fall over again. And over this leg. And I'm going to stay in this leg because my next movement is a tap. And then I'm going to fall the other direction. keep it there to tap. So we are slowly working on shifting our weight with our steps. So instead of walking like normally, we're walking like a skater. We're putting our weight right over the foot that we're stepping on. And in most of the Latin social dances, this is how we're going to step, because this is going to create your body movement later on, so you can get that nice flavor. So you're stepping right over your leg, and it's going to give you a nice range of movement. So don't worry about that now. We're just gonna dance, because we need to start the day with a good mood. So we're left together, left tap right, right together, right tap left, which is our basic. And then we're gonna walk forward, starting on our left foot, left, right, left, tap right. And we've got our weight over this left foot, because we're gonna step right back again. Right, left, right, tap, left. Let's go forward again. Left, right, left, tap, right. Stepping on that same foot to go backwards. Right, left, right, tap, left. And we've also learned the step tap. And Bachata sometimes changes tempo. So that is one that's important, because you may need to retake the music as you're dancing. So we're going to step left, tap, right, tap, left, tap, right, tap. So we have those 3 movements. I want to do something kind of fun today. So since we were talking about weight shift and body movement, we're going to take our weight, we're going to shift it onto our left foot, and we'll do this slowly. And we're going to step in the middle. And if you remember, we very often do like an exercise where we pretend to be a bell, right? So we keep our shoulders in place and we move our hips. So you want to have a good knee bend here. And you're going to swing your hips to the side. And then you're going to circle around the back. And your weight is shifting at the same time. So you're in the middle. And your hips are going, it's like somebody's pulling your hip this direction. And not just your hip, it's your whole lower body. Just keeping your shoulders in place. And it's swinging around the back. And as it swings, you're shifting your weight from this foot to the other. So in the middle, and shoulders staying in place. Maybe put your hands on them for this time. Hip is swinging to the side. And you see my weight. I do this from the back so you can see where my weight is shifting. I'm in the middle here. My weight is shifting over this leg, and it feels like somebody's pulling me this way. And then I'm going to make a very small half circle. And as I do, my weight is going to shift onto the other foot. And we'll go back to the middle. And let's try that again. Hip pull, so puts you on your right leg. And you're going to swing and shift. And back to the middle. And keep your shoulders in place. Hip pull. You're on your right leg. Swinging around. And ending on your left leg. So we're going to add that into our bachata. So we're going to go this and slow. I'm going to start with my back to you, and then we'll turn around. And just going to repeat those steps a few times so they slowly work their way into your muscle memory. And one day, you won't have to do that. Got a question coming. Remember your weight shift. So we're going to be doing it like a half speed. So let's do our slow the music down. And we're going to slow down. We're going to do it at a regular tempo. But instead of stepping on each beat, we're going to be stepping a little more slowly. We're going to take 2 counts. All right. So the nice thing about bachata too is you have a lot of like popular songs that have been re-rhythmed. Yeah. Switching this one. All right, let's start with that.
They say the holy water's watered down.
Right.
And this town's lost its faith.
Right.
Our colors will fade eventually. So if our time is running out, day after day, we'll make the mundane our masterpiece. Oh my, love. When I look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to the dead. On the edge of your life, staying drunk as a bride. The angels up in the clouds, our shadows know we found. So this summer, I'll be running down. You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary. Shadow me when you talk, love it from me to top. The angels up in the clouds, our shadows know we found.
Great job there, flies. So it's getting a little more fun. So we have the navy, which is also a great dance. This one's a little more complicated. There's more steps, but it's a wonderful dance. It's very expressive, and you can really make it your own. You can say what you want to say with it, and we'll work on interpretation as we go on. All right, my flies, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting each other in this community and traveling this journey together. And I will hop right back on intermediate, get ready for the day routine, and I will see you very soon. Love to all, Fairflies. Have a wonderful day.